These are my top 10 favorite books of all time. Number 10. Wait! Before we get started, I just want to preface this by saying that this list is constantly changing, constantly moving around. Even after I picked my 10 favorite books, ranking them in an order of 10 was actually very challenging for me. The order of these can vary, depending on the day. I am not saying this is objective, this is simply my opinion. This is just how I feel about the books. Yeah, let's get into it. Number 10. The Moon is Down by John Steinbeck. Basically, this book is about a town under siege by, it's not said to be Nazis, but they pretty much represent the Nazis. This is a phenomenal short little book. It is only 115 pages, really quick, short read. I read it in a few days, but man, it is impactful. It is beautiful. It is probably the most beautiful and hopeful book pertaining to war that I've ever seen. It is primarily about human spirit and hope. How easily can hope be burnt out? Can human hope be extinguished entirely? This was absolutely brilliant, honestly. I've only read a few things by John Steinbeck, but man, this solidified him as an author for me so fast. Definitely, if this sounds interesting and you want to read something short, this is a surefire banger. Number 9. On Writing by Stephen King. I know this is nonfiction, but you know what? This is a video about my favorite books. So I'm putting it on here because it's one of my favorite books. This is half memoir, half writing advice by the GOAT himself, Stephen freaking King. I love Stephen King. This was the first book I read by him. It's so powerful. To give an example of how meaningful this book was to me, the day after I read it, I started writing 1,000 words a day for a book I was writing, and I didn't stop. I followed that schedule until I finished the book. The book is done now. I mean, granted, it kind of sucks, but it got me writing. It got me so inspired and motivated to write, and it gives such incredibly great advice on how to do it. If you want to write, read this book. Required reading, straight up. Especially if you like Stephen King as an author, the memoir portion in the beginning is it's great. Very practical tips in there. It has a really special place in my heart for really getting me to sit down and finally write, which I'd been wanting to do for so long. So it's kind of. Sorry, it's fine. Sorry. Number 8. The Perks-Being Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. So I think I'm saying that right. Maybe not. I'm just going to read up straight from the Wikipedia premise on this one because it says it pretty well. I'm citing my sources, okay, guys? Set in the early 1990s, the novel follows Charlie, an introverted and observant teenager through his freshman year of high school in a Pittsburgh suburb. The novel details Charlie's unconventional style of thinking as he navigates between the worlds of adolescence and adulthood, and attempts to deal with poignant questions spurred by his interactions with both friends and family. So, my girlfriend had... Speak of the devil. So basically, my girlfriend loved this book, and I was getting back into reading about a year and a half ago, and she was like, dude, read Perks-Being Wallflower. So I was like, you know what? I'll give it a crack. I honestly thought I wouldn't like it. I thought it was going to be kind of cringy based off of the premise of it, but it was so good. It was so good. It was one of like the sweetest, heartfelt books I've read, and man, the end almost made me cry, which at the time, I had never come close to even tearing up in a book before, but this book was like, whoa. I never read anything like it. It is a fantastic coming-of-age story. So sweet. It has such a tender core to it. I think it is an absolutely beautiful book. So if that sounds interesting, you will not be disappointed. Number 7. 2001, A Space Odyssey by Arthur C. Clarke. Okay, I have some beef. And I'm going to say it, and this is my hot take, and people are going to hate me, and it's going to be sad. No, I actually really don't care. When I say 2001, A Space Odyssey, I mean by Arthur C. Clarke, not Stanley Kubrick. And yes, I know they collaborated and wrote it together, but I don't care. The book is a masterpiece, and the movie is ass cheeks. I'm putting it out there, okay? The movie stinks. I don't know what the film critics are on, giving it a freaking 6 out of 5 stars, saying it's the best thing ever created. It's junk. It is junk. Oh my. The movie's not good. I got that out of the way. Now, okay, the movie's not that bad. I personally really don't like it. I think it is not that good. I think it's overhyped. I don't think it's a terrible movie. I think it's overhyped. That's why I get mad about it. Especially because you have the perfection that is the book. The book is everything the movie wants to be. I'm sorry, it is. I read the book first. I'd forgotten the plot of the movie. I'd watched the movie when I was really little. I was bored as rocks. So I read the book recently because Man Carrying Thing put it in his top 10. I was like, that sounds interesting. The book is so freaking great. I don't really want to even give the premise of this book without spoiling it. If you've seen the movie, it's the same premise, obviously, but it does deviate from the movie. It gives more answers in the movie. It goes in different turns than the movie does. I rewatched the movie recently after I finished the book. So this is basically a possible explanation for why we haven't found aliens yet. It's a science fiction book. It is sprawling. It is massive. This is the only science fiction book I've read that has made like planetary travel and the universe and space feel as big as it should be. This book has such a grand scale and it does it beautifully. I was jaw dropped all the time. I was literally freaking out while reading this book. It was so good. Science fiction classic written in the 70s. I mean, the characters are about as thin as paper, but that's not why the book is good. So just know this book is not character based and it's not trying to be. And I do not care because it does everything else so well. Oh man, this is really great. This is so much better than the movie, guys. You know it's true. You know all of the Stanley Kubrick fans just stopped watching the video. Didn't. Number 6. Whoop. The Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court by Mark Twain. Have you heard of this book? Have you? Have you? Tell me the truth, have you? Because it's great. I'm going to read straight off the Wikipedia here again. It spoils the book, so I'm not going to read that part, but it does a pretty good job at explaining the premise. Okay. In the book, a Yankee engineer from Connecticut named Hank Morgan received a severe blow to the head and is somehow transported in time and space to England during the reign of King Arthur. After some initial confusion and is captured by one of King Arthur's knights, Hank realizes that he is actually in the past and uses his knowledge to make people believe that he is a powerful magician. Hank attempts to modernize the past in order to make people's lives better. This book is crazy. Written in 1889 by the legend Mark Twain. I love Mark Twain as an author. This is peak, bro. No one talks about this book, and it's so good. It is decently long. It's like 330 pages. It's just like, this copy is one of those like pocket-sized, like little tweaker ones. This is literally, at its base, it is about a freaking capitalist businessman trying to make the medieval times, King Arthur's court, capitalistic. He tries to industrialize the medieval times. It's as epic as you think it is. This book is so wild. It is so funny. He tricks people into thinking he's a magician, but it also has like a pretty interesting take on capitalism and the Industrial Revolution and the possible negative side effects from it. Honestly, this is one of the most fun book I've ever read in my life. The scams this guy pulls off are just, it will make you giggle and curl your toes, quite frankly. I loved this book. There's a 30-page portion that is absolute junk. You will know when it is. Everything else is amazing. This book has flaws. It's trying to do so much at once, and it's not necessarily doing all of it perfectly, but it reminds me of a jack of all trades, master of none, but better than a master of one. I don't know, that just fits with this book. This has such a vivid style in my head. This book comes to life so fully. I love it so much. Read it. Number 5, Misery by Stephen King. Please don't cut off my leg. That was so dumb. Alright, I'm reading straight off the wiki again because it's good. The novel hinges on the relationship between its two main characters, novelist Paul Sheldon and his self-proclaimed #1 fan, Annie Wilkes. When Sheldon is seriously injured following a car accident, former nurse Annie rescues him and keeps him prisoner in her isolated farmhouse. So essentially, this book is about an author who is forced to write a sequel to a book series he ended, and he will be tortured if he does not do it by this psychopath, Annie Wilkes. This book is disturbing. It is psychological horror. It is pretty gruesome at points. Ooh, like make you flinch type of stuff. I thought it was fantastic. I think it has such an incredible heart to this book because it's not only an entertainment horror book, at least in a dark way, it has a lot to say about writing and the power of writing, the power of the art of writing. I mean, the great parts of writing, how writing can be misery, but also how it can save. How writing is even powerful enough maybe to save a life. I've read a decent bit of Stephen King books now. I've even read The Stand. I have a whole video about that, and I still think Misery is his best one. This book has stuck with me for so long. I think about it all the time. This is one of the best openings to a book that I've ever read. It's awesome. Misery is so good. Read it. Just read it. It's fantastic. Number 4, The Fault in Our Stars. That was not appealing. I don't know what by John Green. Okay, it's by John Green. I'm gonna read the Wikipedia thing because it's good. The story is narrated by Hazel Grace Lancaster, a 16-year-old girl with thyroid cancer that has affected her lungs. Hazel is forced by her parents to attend a support group where she subsequently meets and falls in love with 17-year-old Augustus Water, an ex-basketball player, amputee, and survivor of osteosarcoma. The Fault in Our Stars shattered me. Oh my gosh. The few days after I read this book, I genuinely was so sad. I know this sounds but it felt like I was literally grieving. Like, the characters in this book were so good. The story was so amazingly powerful. I don't have words. As I was reading it, I knew it was phenomenal. And then when I finished it, I was like, yeah, this is one of my favorite books all time. No question about it. What a fantastic romance. What a fantastic search for the meaning of life and dealing with grief and trauma and oh my goodness freaking gracious. And hey, I used to be one of those people who was like, actually, it's young adult. I don't really like young adult. Wrongo. This is good. This is... The characters, they are searching for the meaning of life because, dude, everyone wants to know it. And the different takes, man. You have one character who was like, we're gonna die, that's it. And then the other one is like, but I want to be remembered. And I could just relate to that a decent bit. And on a literary level, this book is also just fantastic. There's scenes I think about in here so often. And when I think about certain characters and what ended up happening to them, I want to start crying. I teared up at this book multiple points. It was honestly, I don't cry much. For me, I physically find it hard to cry. But if I didn't, I literally would have been sobbing throughout this entire book. Quick note, I forgot to say, this book is actually very funny and very happy too. John Green, he looks for the positives in every single thing in the book. And that is what makes it so special. It's not just sad, tragic melodrama the whole time. It is juxtaposed with these beautiful, enriched, happy, lively scenes that will just make you so happy you want to cry too. So yeah, it has no other place but to be in the top 10 list. John Green, he's the GOAT, man. He is the GOAT. Oh my gosh. He makes great YouTube videos and this man can write a freaking book. Woo! If this sounds interesting, literally eat this up. By golly, I love it. Do you know what time it is? It's time for Art of the Week. To stay in tune with this theme for this video, my favorite stuff, I forgot to do Art of the Week last week because I'm dumb, I forgot. So we're gonna do my 2 favorite albums, to make up for last Art of the Week and also, fit with the style of the video. Call me basic, I literally don't care. These albums are so good. Okay, honestly, they're kind of tied, but we're just gonna start off with, nothing much, just freaking Abbey Road by the Beatles. If you haven't listened to this album, get on it. It is so good. If you like the Beatles and for some reason you haven't listened to their best album, then listen to it because it's their best album and it's so good. I don't even know what to say. Abbey Road is a classic. You've seen this picture, you've seen references to it. It has so many memorable tracks on it, man. The second side is a melody, 20-minute melody. All the songs flow into each other. It is a banger. Absolutely cut and dry. Beatles at their best. I don't know what else to say. Just listen to it. Listen to it in order to. I know there's weirdos who like play albums in shuffle, but like, dog, it has an order for a reason. Okay. Alrighty, next up, this album blew my mind once I actually started to wrap my head around it, and that is The Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd is my favorite band along with the Beatles, and this is also like the best album ever. It just is, okay? What is it about? What is The Dark Side of the Moon about? It's about freaking life. That sounds pretentious, but it does it, man. It has 10 songs, and it covers life in an album. Kind of progressive rock. It's slow, I don't even know what to say. They're, classic Pink Floyd with the insane guitar solos, insane songwriting. The lyrics are just magnificent. Amazing work by every single member of the band. I didn't get it at first, then I watched YouTube videos on it, and then I re-listened to it, and I was like, I get it now. Yeah, it's so good. Dude, literally, these are the 2 best albums. These are my 2 favorite albums. They were like S+++++ tier. So, these are my GOATs right here. Okay, that's Art of the Week. Okay, so these last 3, numbers 1 through 3, I can't pick. They're all number 1, okay? They are all number 1. I'm gonna give them an order for this video, but I want you to know that this order literally changes depending on the day. It changes all the time. They're pretty much all first place, but just know that 1 through 3, they are all on the same level of simply like up there. Like, this is amazing. And then these are like, yeah, you can't even see the top. Like this is like my favorite. They're good, okay? They're good books. I'm not even gonna say number 3 or anything. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey. Oh my gosh. No one talks about this book. No one talks about this book enough. Let me give the premise before I start freaking out, okay? Basically, this is about a mental ward run by a slightly authoritarian nurse. This man, Randall McMurphy, fakes insanity to get out of a prison work camp and is subsequently put in a mental hospital. This book is best thing I've ever read, along with the other two. It just is. It is so, look at this, marked up. I did this big school project on it. I got a bunch of it like highlighted and stuff. I just like to preface whenever I talk about this book by saying it is extremely misogynistic and racist, and that is not the reasons I like the book. I'm not in favor of probably 99% of the messaging the book promotes. I do not think they are solutions to real problems this book does propose. So just know this is kind of a murky gray area book in a lot of ways. There is so much to break down with this book. Okay, it is narrated first person by a schizophrenic man. It has such a crazy, hyperbolic way everything is described, and it's nuts. Now, I think the messaging in this book is super harmful. Like, what it's promoting, the mindset it's promoting, not really a solution to the problems that this book proposes. Real problems. This book does propose real problems, but its solutions I do not think are helpful. That is not to say that this book is bad, though. I think the messaging is harmful, but I still think literary, it's just a masterpiece. It is so interesting to me because of these characters. Are they not good people? I mean, like at first, I really liked them. And the more I looked at them, I was like, Randall McMurphy's charismatic, but he's not necessarily a good person. The pacing is beautiful, but there's such a range. It is honestly scary sometimes. It is really funny sometimes. And it is painfully sad sometimes. It literally has everything you could possibly want. I reread this book and I was shocked just how much it held up. This is a bench, man. This book is so good. I literally will talk about this book way too much. I'm going to cut myself off here. It's so entertaining, so much to think about and chew on with this. Also, the guy who comes into the mental ward is this super rebellious, rule-hating guy. So the fact that, an authoritarian nurse runs the place doesn't gel well with him. So there's that. Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. Oh man. I'm gonna read the Wikipedia. The novel, set in the waning days of the Old West, centers on the relationship between several retired Texas Rangers and their adventure driving a cattle herd from Texas to Montana. It's a very simple story, but man, it is a phenomenal one. It is an epic, about 900 pages. This copy has less pages, usually it's like over 1,000. This book flies by. These are the best characters I've ever read, period. Best characters ever written. There is basically no argument on that. The story is sprawling. It feels like you actually go from Montana to Texas, and man, it is tragic. The first half is literally, I was laughing out loud. So funny. And the second half is heartbreaking. This was the first book that made me cry. I flipped the last page and I had tears in my eyes. I literally could talk about Lonesome Dove forever, because it is such a phenomenal book, one of a kind, absolutely unforgettable. Starts off slow paced, but I love it. It takes its time, it does not rush, and it goes everywhere and further. This is a historical fiction book. I feel like I know how it would be like to live in the West in the 1800s now. Like, that's how good this is. There is such a wide variety of characters in this book, and all of them are given an equal chance. There's basically 7 protagonists that the book all juggles at once. It's just a cattle ranch drive from Texas to Montana, but it is one of the best things I've ever read. It's so freaking amazing. Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. This has such a special place in my heart. Let me read the Wikipedia first. Fahrenheit 451 is a 1959 dystopian novel by American writer Ray Bradbury. It presents a future American society where books have been outlawed and firemen burn any that are found. I'm just going off on my own now. Basically, the novel follows the protagonist, Guy Montag, who eventually starts to question his role as a firefighter. If misery covers, how powerful writing can be, Fahrenheit 451 covers books as a whole. The power that books hold in general. Oh my gosh. This book I've read like 2.5 times, we'll round up to 3, and it just gets better every time. This gets better the older I get. I see new things in it every time I reread it, and it's a masterpiece, straight up. It is amazing. Holy crap, best dystopian book I've ever read by far. What a beautiful book. The prose it just like grows on me each time I reread it. Sometimes I will sit here and I will reread passages of the book and I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is so great. This is so amazing. This was the first book I read that opened my eyes to what books could be. Before this, there's nothing wrong with it, but all I really read was like The Maze Runner and, young adult kind of fantasy sci-fi books. I was in elementary school, so there's nothing wrong with those books, but I didn't know books could be like this. And this was the first one I read that wasn't anything like that. It was, I think, the first book I read on my own, at least, that was like older than 2000. Fahrenheit 451 like opened my eyes to what books and literature could be. It changed my entire perspective on books and like kind of on the world too. It sparked a new interest in reading that I did not even know existed. It got me on this journey of reading and writing. And for that, I'm going to be like forever thankful for this book. But on top of that, it's such a powerful novel because what it has to say on American society, life, everyday life, and our problems in our society of America are still prevalent. This book is 70 years old, and what it has to say is so prevalent today. This sounds weird, but like it is like the book for me. When I think of a book, I think of Fahrenheit 451. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Ray Bradbury is one of my favorite authors, and is the only book that I've read by him. So it's also extremely short. It's 158 pages. Chef's kiss. I could talk about this book for hours, just like all these top three. I put it last as a pseudo number one, even though they're all tied for number one, just because this book has such a special place in my heart that no other book could replace. Not to mention, this book is thrilling. It is very entertaining. It has a lot to say. It does not mean it's boring. This thing is fast, it is entertaining, and it had me biting my nails by the end of it. There was chases and the world building and the developments. There's so much. There's Robot Dog. Such a great commentary on overconsumption of media, on being spoon-fed media, and people choosing this path of life. It does it fast, but man, it does not miss out on the depth. Those are my 10 favorite books of all time. Again, I want to reiterate, just my opinion, and I'm very sorry to people who love Stanley Kubrick. I've been mean. I've been a meanie. Thank you so much for listening to me yap about my favorite books, and please do not put me on a spittle and kill me for some of my takes here. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Reading's awesome. I love reading. Go outside or read a book. Do whichever you want, man. But have a great day. Have a great life. And I will see you, hopefully, next week. Okay, goodbye. Thank you for watching. Muy bien.